Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Monday Project call. It is August 5th. We're going to open today with Friends of Mozilla, as is customary. The Mozilla Tech Speakers team was super busy last week, spreading the word about Mozilla and the open web. Collectively, Mozilla Tech Speakers delivered talks and workshops at 17 developer-facing conferences and events. The developer relations team would like to extend a huge thank you to the following tech speakers who spoke at various conferences and events: Ali, Anjana, Carolyn, Aaron, Galu, Jyotsna, Jen, Milika, Pearl, Ramon, Risky, and Yamama. Let's give a big round of applause for all of our tech speakers. Next up, we have events. Let's see if we've got anything exciting going on this week. Yes, we do. Wednesday, August 7th, the Homebrew Website Club, which is a growing worldwide network of meetups for everyone who wants to take back their web experience from social media silos and own their online identities, content, and interactions. We have Homebrew Website Club in Nuremberg, Karlsruhe, London, Nottingham, Teesside, Austin, and San Francisco. Details and RSVP link are in the wiki, so if you're interested in the Homebrew Website Club, check that out. Thursday, August 8th, we have Homebrew Website Club in Brighton. That happens every Thursday. Again, details are in the wiki if you want to RSVP or check that out. Next up, we're going to move on to our speakers, and we're going to open with Andrew Krug with the IT Minute.
It's time for the Weekly Minute Update, where we tell you all the things IT is doing to empower Mozillians in their mission to keep the web a global public resource, open and accessible to all. Our first update today comes from the InfoSec team. Last week, Mozilla onboarded its first 4 MozDef pre-release customers. MozDef is an open-source SIM that we've been developing internally for 4 years, and we're now experimenting with turning it into a full-fledged product for the enterprise. Alicia Smith and I will present on MozDef at Black Hat and DEF CON this week. Any questions, go to me. Next update is from AV Ops. In collaboration with WPR, the doors to the new Paris office opened this morning. 7 new conference rooms were introduced along with combinable space. The new office layout was optimized for collaboration, accessibility, conference space performance, and more. It's one of the first offices to leverage the new Zoom Rooms technology in concert with new hardware and other treatments to optimize conference experience. You can get more information on the Paris office upgrade here. For the AV team, this continues the march towards the completion of the Zoom Rooms rollout. Our goal is to convert 50% of all rooms by the end of 2019. Next up for work is the conference rooms in YVR, followed by Mountain View and San Francisco to close out the year. More information on that timeline is available here. With that, I'll leave you with the Zoom tip of the week, which is that remotees can share a video clip with audio by enabling the Share Computer Sound option. That's the minute. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Andrew. Next up here in Mountain View, we have Greg with the Emerging Technologies Update.
Thanks. Morning, everyone. 3 weeks ago, our developer relations team launched the first edition of the MDN Developer and Designer Survey, hoping web developers and designers would be willing to spend a few minutes telling us about their needs and frustrations with the web. We have over 15,000 responses so far, and because the results will be shared with Google, Microsoft, and Samsung and others, they're actively helping us encourage folks to take part. If you create sites or services using HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, please consider filling out the survey and helping us move the web forward. Last week, Mozilla caught the attention of the broadcast industry with a live encoding and streaming demo of AV1 into all 4 major browsers, Firefox, Chrome, Edge, and Safari, at the Mile High Video Workshop sponsored by Comcast and NBC Universal. For Firefox, Chrome, and Edge, this was easy since AV1 is natively supported with the David encoder. In Safari, which has no AV1 support, a real-time playback was achieved using the WASM build of David. Try it yourself by following the link on the wiki. This marks a major milestone for video on the web and is particularly important to broadcasters who primarily ship H.264 in significant and growing amounts, as our own Nathan Egge described in his presentation to the industry heavyweights in attendance. For the reality update, we launched Firefox Reality on Oculus Quest. To good press response. We have seen a nearly 33% increase in DAO due to this launch and additional press and other updates around the launch and the similarly timed 1.3 release. For hubs, We recently published our July update on the Mixed Reality blog, which highlights a variety of new features in hubs, such as enhanced permissions, moderator tools, and a spectator camera. Over the last several months, we've seen more and more people using hubs to host meetups online for their communities using Discord and Twitter, for example. These new features we released last month are primarily focused on increasing safety and quality experience for the kinds of events people are having in these forums with semi-trusted audiences. And that's the update. Thank you.
Thank you. Really excited to see this AV1 momentum, and especially tickled to see the WASM build of AV1 on Safari where they don't have native support. Next up, we have me, Asa Dotzler, with your weekly Firefox update. Firefox 68.0.1 is our current stable release. I've heard rumor that we're going to have a 68.0.2 this week. Firefox 69 is in the beta channel, and that ships to our stable release on September 3rd. Over the last week, there have been about 65 bug fixes uplifted into beta. Beta 11 ships tomorrow, and beta 12 goes out Friday. We have 16 betas in this cycle, so we're coming into the home stretch. Firefox 70 is in the nightly channel and ships to the stable release on October 22nd. We've got 3 weeks left in the 70 nightly development cycle and 2 weeks left until the soft freeze. So if you've got major work that needs to land in Firefox for 70, now is the time to get that in the next couple of weeks before that soft freeze hits. Over the last week, there have been about 400 bugs fixed in nightly, including these notable changes. Firefox now shows an indicator when geolocation is in use. It used to only show the indicator when geolocation prompts showed up, so that you could give an affirmative or deny geolocation prompts. Now when geolocation is active, so if you've got a map showing your location and polling for your location, you'll get the indicator in the address bar. The protections panel, which is behind the shield icon on the address bar, is now keyboard accessible and better matches the design spec. They're making swift progress on the protections panel and separating it out from the identity panel. Social tracking protection has begun to land behind preferences. There's a social tracking protection door hanger that will appear the first couple of times the browser encounters social tracking. And there's a social tracking protection integration with enhanced tracking protection. The new Logins Manager got some nice improvements. If you haven't seen this yet, you can get at it from the Firefox hamburger menu under Logins. We now have a no logins view. So for a new user who doesn't yet have any logins and opens up the Logins Manager, it actually explains to them this is where your logins would show up and offers a sync opportunity for you to bring your logins in from another Firefox. We also have a sign in to sync button and message at the top of the logins window, and a breached logins alert to warn users about breached accounts. So as you engage with Firefox Monitor and learn about your breached logins, which many of us have, you can go to the new Logins Manager and it will highlight any of those logins that belong to a breached account, giving you incentive and encouragement to update those logins with new passwords. We now have the ability to show a What's New page that's not tied to a major version bump. With major versions of Firefox, we often show a new tab to users that tell them what's new in that release. That before was restricted to only being able to be deployed at major version updates. Now we can show a What's New tab presumably an hour after or a day after a major update so that it doesn't happen right with the update. The Firefox account toolbar menu is now less sync specific. There's a little account button in your toolbar at the far right. If you click on that, it used to bring up all you needed for sync. Now it also brings up information about other Firefox account-based services like Monitor and Send. So it will give you Monitor and Send information or give you an opportunity to sign into those account-based services. The privacy protections item in the Firefox menu now takes users to the protection report. In the hamburger menu, there was a protections item that used to take you to the preferences to set your particular privacy protection preferences. Now that takes you to the protections report, which shows you in a very visceral way the number of the different kinds of trackers that you've encountered and that Firefox blocked over the last day, week, and since the beginning of time. And last but not least, we made a significant improvement for screen reader performance on dynamic pages. It used to be that we would update the accessibility tree anytime layout reframed, even if no content changed on the web page. And now we're smart about that. So if the content doesn't change on the web page, but layout gets a reframe, the accessibility tree ignores that, meaning that the screen readers get to the information that much faster and without delay. That's it for this week's Firefox update. With that, I'm going to reload the agenda to see if anything else has come on. It doesn't look like it. So we will come to the closing section of our meeting. Welcome to new Mozillians. One more reload to see if anything came on. We have one introduction here in Mountain View. Anne, if you wouldn't mind.
Hello, everybody. I would like to introduce Lori Ballard. Can we see her? Okay. Lori Ballard is a new EA, and she will be supporting Chris Lynn here in Mountain View and Susan Chen in San Francisco. Most recently, she was an EA at eBay. Interesting fact. Lori is a member of the board of the Hyperion Historical Alliance, which is a group of academia, historians, artists, scholars, and producers that collaborate on the historical preservation of Disney history. She's also co-owner and author of MagicalHotel.com, an in-depth site about the Disneyland Hotel. Please welcome Lori.
Welcome, Laura.
That's all.
I believe that is it for our meeting. Check around to see if any other introductions have come up in the last couple of seconds.
She's waiting.
Yes, we have one more.
We have one here in San Francisco. I would like to introduce Brian Sieber. He is the new developer on IT side, and he will help us to build all the applications for all the Mozillians. Yeah. And he'll be here in San Francisco.
Welcome.
I'm looking forward to meeting with all of you.
And with that, I think we are at the conclusion of our meeting. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, keep on rocking the free web.